and welcome to the Justice for Gamers video game podcast. Episode 7, A Classy Move by a Classy Man. In this episode, JfG Ash plays a game that makes him rip his face off. JfG Alex gets way too excited about this motorcycle game. Phil motherfucking Spencer comments on how new IPs. And also, we take a trip down memory lane. So, sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. And if not, play Worms while listening to Katy Perry.
Hello and welcome to the Justice for Gamers podcast. This is episode 7. I'm joined by my good friend, as always, it's old Schley. Hello, Ash.
Hey, buddy, guess what? Windows has just been like, why not update Windows? You know, we'll do it in 15 minutes.
All right.
Yeah, but, you know, I've told it to shut its face and postpone it for 4 hours, so that's fine.
Well, hopefully we'll be done in 4 hours.
I hope so.
How are you?
I'm good, buddy. Been playing some games without you this week, I must say. It's been nice and also extremely frustrating.
Well, I've had a frustrating time as well because I haven't been playing as many games.
That is unfortunate.
I've been shiting about the southeast doing gigs to no one, which has been really fun.
For little or no money, I'm hoping.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
That's the only way to do it.
It's the only way to do it, yeah. It's how it works. So, yeah, I was out of action for like 3 nights in a row, and you had to kind of find something to do, didn't you?
Yeah, luckily I did. And I did write a little article about that.
Yeah.
It went well, but I'll talk about that later when we talk about what we've been playing.
Yeah, it's a cheeky segue into what's new on the site. And new on the site this week, we have a first play of Dark Souls 2, which the remastered one, isn't it? Is it Scholar of the First Sin, I think it's called?
Yes. Scholar of the First Sin.
And this is a game that neither of us had ever played a Souls game before, and then you bought one and played it.
Yeah. After reading or listening to a few podcasts that have been playing like Bloodborne recently, I think I've picked the wrong game because a lot of people are saying that this particular Dark Souls is the hardest one.
So not the best starting point then?
Probably not, but I have enjoyed it, and I think I'll carry on with it maybe because I've paid for it now. I guess.
Well, that's something I know very little about. Although, yeah, I'm looking forward to you talking about it in the what we've been playing section.
Yeah.
But so that went up on the site. We've also got an article about Never Alone, which is one of this month's PS Plus games, which I sat down and thought, I'll play this for sort of half hour or so, and then I'll write a little piece on it. And
did you end up just completing it in one sitting?
I did. Yeah.
I thought you'd do that.
I mean, it's not so bad as like when I did it with Bioshock Infinite and stuff like that, because this game's only like a couple of hours long. But
it's not like 10 hours later. Oh, my eyes are still wide open.
Yeah, 10 hours later, it's 8 in the morning. The sun's coming up. I'm like, oh, I've been waiting for this game for like 4 years. I've now finished it. I'm done.
In one night.
In one night. Yeah.
Nicely done.
So yeah, not the best. But no. So that went up. And also a first play of Home, which Home is the game I thought Thomas Was Alone was when I bought Thomas Was Alone. We finally got to the bottom of it.
Yeah, we had to buy it.
We had to.
And plus it was only £2.
£2.
Quite the
so
bottom.
I've written a piece on that, which is on the site. We're also doing we were just going to do a little Let's Have a Look video, together. We share played that, and we played it together, and just ended up playing all the way through.
Yeah, just did the whole game in one go.
Yeah,
but then that game has clearly got some replay value. Like,
massive amounts of replay value. Yeah, and I'm sure we'll go through it. I mean, I haven't played past the first level technically, but we were share playing, so
next time you can play it, buddy, and I'll watch, because I'm quite happy to watch that.
Yeah, sounds like a plan. But yeah, so we've got an article and videos, and there'll be lots more videos of that going up over the next couple of weeks. And finally, we did a video on PlanetSide 2, the beta. We both got onto the beta. This is a game that we'd played on PC a couple of years ago, I think now.
Yeah, it must have been.
When it was in its infancy on there. And didn't really enjoy it, but I think we got a bit unlucky with sort of underpopulated servers.
Yeah, you're saying didn't really enjoy it. We didn't have a fucking clue what we were doing. That's what it was. And we were
true.
In a similar situation with this one. But after a while, we kind of got to grips with what to do. So it wasn't too bad.
Yeah, I think it's... yeah, we'll talk about it more in the next section. And, yeah, but the video's up on the site, so go and have a look.
Yeah, quite the ball ache of a editing session, that, with using two perspectives, which was fun, and trying to keep them in sync. And
you're learning, Ash.
It's all a learning experience, you know, so we can finally do this for a full-time job.
Well, that'd be lovely.
It can only get better. Indeed.
So I guess we should move on to what we've been playing, seeing as we've kind of teased it already, a lot of it.
Yeah, we have just pretty much said what we've been playing before we're in the section, what are we playing?
Well, let's regurgitate that now like any good site does. Do you want to kick us off? You've been vetoing again, I see.
I've been vetoing again, so I haven't spoken about this already this week, but I did extensively last week, and that is Guacamelee. That game is still really awesome. There's no question about it. It's probably one of my favourite Vita games that I've played. That and Tearaway. It's in a different category to Tearaway, obviously, because it's not 3D, it's 2D, it's a side-scroller, it's not a semi-open world explorer kind of thing, or adventure game. But I just really like it. It's like the art style is really good. Like, it is really funny. I find myself pissing myself at it. Like, there's a bit in there where you just get turned into a chicken.
No.
And then you find that you have the ability to swap back and forth into chicken form, and that is part of the game from now on. I was just like, this is amazing. So like, there's secret areas where you can only get to whilst being a chicken. I was just like, this is so
you could
good.
Become a chicken in Rayman as well.
Yeah, but that's silly. That game is silly.
Whereas this is deadly serious.
Indeed. It's all about, you know, the land or the dead world or whatever it's called, and the living world, and, you know, yeah, it makes common sense to me. Whereas, you know, changing into a chicken, no chance.
I really want to play this thing now.
Well, we'll buy the upgrade at some point for the PS4. It's like I said, it's only like £3.50, I think.
Yeah, that sounds like a plan. Because you seem to have a bit of a thing where you're preferring a lot of these games on Vita rather than PS4, because, you know, you're after more of a sort of graphical showpiece on the PlayStation console itself, and
Definitely.
You know that expectation's kind of removed somewhat in the mobile sort of genre. Yeah. I haven't had that problem at all. I'm not saying you're wrong or I'm right or whatever, but like Counter Spy, for example, I had an absolute fucking ball with that thing, and I kind of almost think like Sony have broken me with the PS Plus titles. Like, at first I was like, oh, I really wish we could have like some sort of like big time AAA thing now, and then I was like, no, it's fair enough. There aren't any old ones yet, so we've got to kind of wait. And they've just chucked indie games at me for the last 18 months, and now I'm just like, my eyes have glazed over, and I'm just like, yep, game's a game. I don't care what it is, just give them all to me. And
I'm all for like having like indie games on the PS4, but I want those indie games to like stand out. I want them to be like something different, you know. I don't want them to just be like a boring standard game, you know, like just like a 2D side scroller where I could have played that on like the original Xbox or something and it would have run just the same. I need it to be more than that if I'm using it on my PS4, and I think a lot of people would kind of say the same thing.
Yeah, totally. I think you're in the majority camp there. I think, to be honest, I've just been so downtrodden by the launch year where there was just fuck all AAA to get my teeth into, that maybe my my expectations of like giant graphical masterpieces have kind of just gone.
Yeah.
But I think that the caliber of PS Plus title has been pretty high, certainly this year so far.
Yeah, so far it's been good.
But yeah, I have to play Guacamelee. And
so this was a PS Plus game on the Vita back in the day anyway, so that was nice. So I didn't have to buy that. I don't know when I'm going to get bored of this game. Like I've reached the final boss now, but luckily it says you've reached the final boss. Do you want to continue or not? And I'm like, well, no, I want to kind of go back and get my health all maxed out, and you know, find all like, because there's a few like side quests and things you can do. Obviously, there's trophies involved, so I want to get them. I've unlocked all the abilities now. So one thing I did say last week that I need to retract was the way that you switch between the living and dead world. Like when you start the game off, you have to hit these portals or something like that to change between the two. But after so long, you actually unlock the ability to flick between the two worlds.
Oh, right. So it is an ability eventually.
Yeah, it does become an ability, just not at the start, yeah. And
that's cool.
This makes the puzzles and like the jumping puzzles even fucking harder. So you get like wall jump, and you can get wall run and things like that. So you've got two vertical walls, and one's invisible and one's visible. And so that's a nice simple one. You just jump on one, and whilst you jump into the other, you flick, I think it's like the right bumper button or whatever it is, or R1 I think, and it swaps to the dead world, and then you have to keep going vice versa, back and forth, up and up. But then it likes to throw in like a few spikes here and there, or maybe like you unlock double jump as well, so like you can jump in the air and
cheeky.
Like, you have to start throwing all these combos together. So, and then there's these things, like, that you start off, like, at the beginning, you see a few of them, like, they're like red vines that you can't go through, but you have to press L1 to, like, shield yourself or roll through them. So then there's these hanging down. So, like, one instance, you have to jump, double jump, shield yourself, do some sort of like flaming uppercut, and then you have to do like a speed dash whilst in the air as well. And like that took me about 10 minutes just to do that, to get like the combination perfect to land on this next platform. Oh yeah, and also while you're doing that, you have to change to the dead world as well, or the living, whichever one I was in. And I was just like, oh man, my brain is fried. But it's really, really good game. If you got it in the PS Plus for the Vita back in the day, and you've got a PS4, definitely buy the upgrade. I'd play that game for a long, long time. It's cool.
Nice, man. We'll get all over that.
Yeah, I think so. It'd be good.
So, do you want to go to the main event here on your list? Or do you...
So, yeah, like we said earlier, Alex was off doing his gigging, so I was sitting around thinking, like, what can I play? And because Alex had pretty much played all of the PS Plus games this month.
I love it.
Yeah, I did like a random search, you know, when you hold the button down and just go through the list of games on the store, and landed on Dark Souls 2.
Dum, dum, dum.
Scholar of the First Sin. Now, I've never wanted to play a Dark Souls game just because I know what to expect from it. I know that it's going to be an absolute bowl ache. I know that I'm going to die loads and loads. I know that the trying to kill something in that game is like horrible. But I did it anyway because I was like, you know what? These are like this series of games is like up there with the greats. You know, it's held with such high respect and everything. I have to give it a go. So I jump into it, and not knowing anything, I picked the Explorer as my class. I thought, yeah, mate, I'm all about exploring. I love picking up things and, you know, running around and finding different bits and bobs here and there. Little did I know that this guy was a pile of wank. He only had like a little dagger. In my article, I described it equal to a butter knife. And there's no question about it. That is about as much damage as it can do. It does nothing. So I go off on my trail as the Explorer, and I'm just walking around a lot because I don't know what the run button is, which I found out after about an hour of playing how to run, which was a bonus. So I'm walking around. It opens up into this really nice area, actually. It looks gorgeous. It's obviously had quite a lot of time spent on the remaster of it, so that was nice.
That was one of the things I was interested in, actually, was... I know you mentioned it in your article, but sort of how it compares, because we've had so many bloody remasters, haven't we, recently?
Yeah.
How good does this thing look? I mean, it must be a bit difficult because you're playing it on a fairly solid PC, aren't you, that you've got there, whereas normally with sort of PlayStation gaming, the two aren't really comparable. I think the new GTA's proven that. How do you think it rates?
I had everything set on high or maxed out, and my computer was running it fine. It didn't feel as polished as like some of the next gen games that we've played, I must say. It definitely looked like it had been touched up.
Showing its age there a little.
I think so. I definitely think so. When I got into the open world bit, the lighting was nice. It definitely had that kind of warm feeling that a lot of like the current gen, I'm going to call it that from now, the current gen games do. That was one of the things that I noticed about the current gen was the lighting effects. They really made a lot more effort for that.
Yeah, definitely.
The water animations looked nice. I don't know. There wasn't anything that really stood out and was like, oh yeah, boom, this is definitely of the caliber that we are getting used to now. But then again, I don't know if I'm a massive fan of the art style of that game anyway. So maybe that hindered my view on that, I think.
Yeah, maybe.
I get up in this open world and I'm walking around, and then I don't know what I'm doing, and I find these like armadillo type things, and they just come at me. You know, they came at me, and I didn't know what lock-on was. I was like just rolling about in the grass trying to hack and slash him, and I died. So back to the start I went, and I was like, this has started off well. I played with the Explorer for about an hour after just giving up and restarting with a new character. But within that hour, I did learn a few game mechanics like the run, how to lock on, That bonfires are your best friend because that's where you will spawn when you die. So if you ever see run for it and ignite it, even if you're getting chased, because then you die and you reappear there. Every time you die, your health bar gets lower, and all your consumables get consumed and they don't replenish when you die. But all the enemies come
your
back.
health capacity gets lower, or just the health?
I believe it's to do with like the souls that you collect. So if you don't keep your souls, then you are slowly disappearing into whatever.
So if you retrieve the souls, your health bar goes back up, is that right?
I don't know. I never retrieved them because I was that shit.
Okay.
I might have picked up a few here and there, but I didn't notice because I was like trying to beat someone off at the same time, which is a difficult task.
As someone who's never played a Souls game, my perception of this thing is, did you ever play Cat Mario?
Yeah, I remember it.
There's a piss-take version of Mario where it constantly bones you in ways that you could not possibly predict, so that you have to do it again. So the floor will just fall away from under you, but it won't be marked where that's going to happen. It's no longer skill. Like, the game fucks you and you learn. And that's how I've always assumed the Souls games to be. So the game will bone you in a way that you couldn't possibly have predicted. So no skill is involved in you surviving that first time round. You die, you do it again, and you learn. That's, from an outsider perspective, that's how I assume the Souls games to be, and is also the reason why I've never played one, because that sounds like bullshit to me. Am I wide of the mark? I'd love to be wrong, because I love the look of Bloodborne.
That's the kind of attitude that I went into it with, like knowing that I was going to die loads of times and not know what I'm coming up against was the main aspect of what I believed was going to happen. But on my next playthrough, when I picked my character, the swordsman, because he had 2 swords and I was going to fuck shit up, everything changed. Because I had these basic mechanics of like how to control my character, I could then start like actually doing damage to people. So the way that you have to take this game is very slow and steady. You can't just run in there and start hack and slashing like I was trying to do with my butter knife. It just doesn't work. So the way that I took this game, my new approach that I developed was get the enemy's attention, much like an MMO RPG kind of thing, where you draw out the enemy. I'll say the same word. I was trying to think of a clever word for enemy, but the villain.
I wouldn't bother.
Nah, fuck him. So you draw him out, and then he's like fixed on you, and he'll follow you wherever you want to go. So you draw him out, you get close enough for him to do an attack. You see how he attacks. So like he might like swing like once, or he might swing like 3 times, and then he'll have a little pause. And then obviously when he's pausing, you quickly dash in there and give him like a shiv to the knee or something like that. And that seemed to improve my enjoyment of the game like a million times. I mean, I was still dying every so often, but it was mainly down to my timing. So it felt like it was my fault. It didn't feel like the game was specifically trying to do me over.
That's the vital thing. That's the crucial thing. That's exactly what I wanted to hear.
Yeah, and that is the thing that like made me not change my mind about it, because I still don't think it's a game that I really, really want to play. I think it'll be something that I'll go back to at some point and be like, you know what, I've got like 4 hours just to sit down and piss away. Let's really try and delve a bit deeper into this kind of thing, because I only played it for about 3 hours, and the majority of that was like just finding my way around.
I think I need to try it. I need to play it, because it's got to the stage now. It's such a phenomenon, and they've clearly, Bloodborne has been quite the masterstroke. You're looking at 9s and 10s all over the place for that thing. I feel like I'm not allowed to be doing a games podcast having never played a Souls game or Bloodborne. So yeah, that's gonna have to change.
And after doing a bit of research after playing it, apparently this Dark Souls, or this Souls game, the Scholar of the First Sin, is one of the hardest because it actually brings in enemies from later in the game into the early stages. So like one of the first enemies that I actually faced was a big fuck off dragon. I'm like, I'm not going to be able to kill this guy with my butter knife. I'm not even going to be able to like do anything with him. It's just pointless. And what I did, like with the same research, I did find that apparently Bloodborne is the better game to, you know, ease yourself into this. You haven't got all the stats and things to worry about, or it doesn't go into all the detail as much. So I think we should probably pick up Bloodborne at some point.
Because you can co-op it as well, can't you?
I have no idea. I know it's got network features, but if we can play that together all the way through, then we'll buy it like next month.
I'm convinced that you can co-op that thing. I'm sure of it.
We'll do it then, mate, because I think we'll get into it and we'll enjoy it.
Fucking 2 months after like every podcast on the planet is specifically about Bloodborne, we'll do like a Bloodborne special.
We'll be like, fuck me, yep, guys. If you haven't played this game,
we've got it.
News exclusives coming at you.
Fucking, we're always first on the JfG podcast.
Yeah, that's what happens when you're working on such a small budget.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what else you got for us?
Yeah, so other than that, I managed to have a longer weekend, extending into Monday because I took the day off. Oh yeah, buddy, living it up, because it's obviously Easter break for the kids. So I took the day off so I could have the day with my kids and wife, which was nice. So we went out and did stuff, but then in the afternoon we came back. My daughter and my wife had a sleep, so that gave me and Milo some time to play some games. So yeah, we completed Lego and Skylanders.
Jesus.
Yeah. So Lego Marvel Superheroes, I think we were quite near the end anyway. Yeah, the final boss battle on that was well good. It's against like, I think it was like Galactus or something like that. Like the massive eater of worlds. And I was like, fuck me, this is a bit intense. But yeah, smashed him, no problem. I do like the Lego games. They're nice and simple. They're not very taxing. I'll tell you what, immediately after we completed that game, I downloaded the Lego Hobbit game, the demo even, sorry, not the whole game, for him to play, because he was like, oh yeah, I want to play something else. And I was like, all right, yeah, let's slap this on. And there's like some new dynamics in this like Lego Hobbit game. You have to like collect certain bits of like rope and planks of wood and stuff. I'm like, what is this?
That's what I was going to ask you. That was going to be my next question. Is he of the age yet where once you've like completed something, he's like, he's like, right, fucking sack that off there, next. Like, and it sounds like he is. He's not just mystified by everything and like, sweet, we'll just play through again, don't care that we finished it.
Nah, he does definitely want to play it again, because like obviously he's unlocked all these new characters and stuff, and he's like, yeah, I want to play it, because you unlock a load of bad guys. Because what happens in that game is the good guys and the bad guys make an alliance to like defeat the guy that's gonna eat the world and stuff like that. Standard stuff. So he's unlocked all these new characters, and he's like, yeah, I want to use like Magneto and things like that. And I'm like, yeah, buddy, that's fine, we can go for it all again. He's like, yeah, all right, kind of thing, which is good, because like those Lego games have got loads of replay value, like collecting all the shit, you know.
You want to get a parental lock on the Google search Lego Dimensions. You don't want him to get wind of that thing.
Nah, he's got Skylanders. That'll do me, mate. I've learnt my lesson with that now. No, I don't think so. Mainly for me, I don't think I'm never going to buy one of those games brand new. I'll always buy it like a year later, because it is such a waste of money. I mean, we've only spent, I think I totaled it up a couple of weeks ago. I've spent about £55 on like Skylanders swappable characters and the game itself, which isn't too bad considering we've got
the RRP, innit?
Yeah.
For a standard release.
Yeah, for a standard release, and that spending that £55, like I strategically planned out which ones to buy as well to unlock the maximum capabilities of the game, and well, we nailed it for like 55 quid. And that's like looking on eBay and like 2-for-1 deals and things like that. So it is doable, these games, for like, you know, cheaper amounts. You just got to be a bit savvy about it and not buy it at launch day, which kind of makes sense to me. But then again, kids can be persuasive and whinge. But then again, if you're a good parent, you can just say no.
Yeah, and he's learning. He's learning.
Yeah, exactly.
What you want to do, I've got no experience with parenting, but you need to get the mindset into him that all of his little friends are mugs for having the new shit. Like, you want to get the value in there where they're like a bunch of chumps for
they know
pissing all this money away. Yeah.
So yeah, we completed Skylanders as well, and once again that game's got loads of replay value because there's all like the different areas that you unlock, and there's like battle arenas, and like so me and him can have fights on it, and then there's the speed runs and all that. There's like that game is actually really quite in depth. I'm actually impressed with the amount of detail that they've gone into those games to actually make it a proper game. I know there's like the annoying bit where you can't access all the content, but the replay value of it is really, really impressive. Definitely happy with it.
Nice, man.
Yeah, so apart from that, me and you played Home, but that's pretty much my week. It's been a busy week for me, actually, considering.
That's what happens when I leave the house for several days.
I know, right? I haven't played any GTA. None.
No, neither have I. I think the listeners are probably fucking delighted about that.
Yeah. I might get it on PC though, and see if my computer can handle it.
Yeah, mate. I'm gonna download it onto the netbook later. And,
yeah, definitely. What about you, buddy? What have you been playing?
Okay, so the first half of my week was crippled because I was doing shit gigs, but that's all done with. But I still had the chance to play bits and bobs. The thing that I've probably played the most this week was Never Alone, which, as I said before, I did a little piece on for the website. What a wonderful game. Have you played this yet?
Yeah, I was just about to say, what if someone hasn't read that article? Not saying it's me that hasn't read it. But yeah, go on. Tell me about it.
If someone hasn't read that article, they should probably go to justiceforgamers.com and have a read.
I'm on it.
No, I really like it. It's a platformer in the sort of I don't know, I suppose like sort of Rayman vein, but it's not as refined. It's more about the experience than the mechanics, I think. Although it does some very clever bits and bobs, but yeah, it's just the overall feel of the thing. It looks gorgeous. It plays really nice. There's loads of interesting mechanics, like you're controlling two characters rather than just one. You can switch between them. I think it's got local co-op as well. So we were talking last week about how we were going to do a video for that. We haven't yet, but we should. Yeah,
well, someone wasn't at home to do a video, so...
Yeah, my bad. It's my fault. But, yeah, it's... The whole feeling of it, it's just... I don't think I've ever known a game that just feels so together, like, as if the developer just... They knew exactly what they wanted to do from the very beginning. It's basically like a documentary as well. Like, the whole thing's interspersed with these video shorts that you unlock by finding collectibles in the game in the form of owls perching on branches and stuff. It was like a history lesson as well. I learned all about these Alaskan Inuit tribes and stuff. It's an absolutely wonderful little game. I had some niggles with it. There were some problems, sometimes triggering certain objects. There's these sort of spirit animals that act as platforms, and you have to sort of bring them down with one of the characters. Sometimes they sort of glitched out, never game breaking. Sometimes I had to walk back a little way and come forward again. A little bit rough, the platforming, a little tiny bit woolly, and it got slightly more frustrating towards the end once it got harder. But overall, like, you can forgive that sort of thing when you're just enjoying the journey so much. It's a wonderful game. You've probably downloaded it if you're PlayStation, because it's PS Plus. If you haven't, then do so. It's really, really nice. And also, the Unity engine gets a bad rap. It's had a bad rap from us before, and for good reason, because so many people just fucking chuck games out that are bollocks on that engine. This game is Unity engine, and it shows that the Unity engine is capable of spectacular games if you have the right people at the helm.
But now the Unreal 4 engine's there, mate. That thing's done.
I don't know. I think it's like a new console, isn't it? With these game engines, what developers sort of get the best out of it further on through the cycle of it. I think there'll be lots more Unity games, and they'll be even more impressive than Never Alone. But certainly, as far as I'm aware, it's the most gorgeous looking Unity game I've ever played.
Nice.
Well worth a look. I don't know if I spoke about Aru's Awakening last week.
I don't know.
I did an article on that before the podcast went live, I think. So I won't go too much into detail of that. Quite impressive game, quite good looking game. Just incredibly fucking annoying. The control scheme and the mechanics and everything.
Hard Town.
Yeah, you jog on. Next, Tower of Guns. I think I talked about briefly last week. Last week I talked about Tower of Guns with an inkling that I'd probably never load the thing again. I've actually played loads of it in the last week or so. It's really weirdly addictive for something that isn't really anything at all. It's basically a selection of rooms with randomly spawning enemies that are all just guns or flying robots. You shoot them and you move on. It's permadeath, so you go on a run, you die, you have to start again. Obviously it's randomly generated, so it doesn't matter. But if you unlock weapons or whatever, you keep them. Strangely addictive game. It's another PS Plus one.
Now, because you've been playing that so much, I had a quick burn on it last night, I think.
Yeah.
Hour and a half later, I was still playing it.
There you go.
That game is mental. Like,
I don't know what it is.
It started off nice and easy. I did the first one, killed the first boss. Go out the next room, like go up the level and then go out the next room, and there's like a million cannons flying about in my face. I'm like, what is this?
Yeah, mate, you just never know what you're going to get on there.
I just died and then I just started again. And then the next run, I got all the way up to like level 5. And then I got annihilated by like floaty bombs. I just couldn't move.
I've done 10 runs on that game now. And I got to the final boss on my 9th run. And almost killed it, almost made it. But it's a very simple game, but it's really quite addictive, quite fun. The more you play it, the more comfortable you get with the fact that the camera's like seems to be on your knees. It's really low.
You're like some sort of dwarf. I think what I think is like, because it's in like the cell shaded, like Borderlands. I think you are actually Claptrap.
Well, it's there's the story is randomly generated at the start of each run, and it's always something hilarious. Ludicrous. On one of my runs, I was actually a dog detective, according to the story, and that would explain the camera perspective. It's the ultimate mockery of stories crowbarred into first-person shooters, in that the guy has basically made the game so that it'll randomly generate some absolute bullshit story where you're like the Duke of Wimpton or some or a dog detective. The story is completely irrelevant to the point where you can go into the options menu and there's a story toggle to turn it on or
turn it off. Yeah, nice.
I have tremendous respect for that.
Yeah, definitely.
It's it's a cool game. The only other thing I have played this week is something that I played an hour ago before we started recording this podcast.
And can I just say, all I heard was him like screaming with joy. Fuck, I don't know why.
He was setting up his mic and that, and I was just like, oh.
I was like, wow. This seems
so this
fun.
is The Motorcycle Club, which is a demo that went onto the store today, which Ash Eagle Eye spotted, and I downloaded straight away. And I played the last motorcycle demo that was on the store, that Drive, which was absolute bullshit, that thing, rubbish. This is really fun, and it's got a gameplay mechanic in it that I've never seen before, and it completely threw me. I didn't expect something unique to appear before my eyes, but it did. Have you played this yet? I don't think you have you?
I haven't yet, no. I will do after this, probably.
So the reason it's Motorcycle Club is because you play as like 3 bikes. So as you're racing along, you've got your bikes at the top, and you can use the bumper buttons to switch between the different bikes. And the bike you're controlling will peel off to the left, and the bike you've selected will suddenly appear and like come in. So you're changing. What? It's like almost like a peloton in like Tour de France or something. So, for example, I'm going along in the superbike, and there's a section of the road that's really bumpy and potholy, and my superbike slows right down because it's not built for that sort of terrain. And if I hit right bumper, I can switch to a Harley geezer, and my superbike geezer disappears off to the left, and the Harley geezer pulls up front and centre and just goes all over the bumps, and then I switch back again afterwards. I was like, I've never seen that before. I've never seen something like that. I thought it was very clever.
The only thing that I think... Oh, no. I was thinking of Crackdown when it's not kind of the same mechanic, but it was one of the cars. The cars in there would transform. I'm sure they would. But it's not really. It's nowhere near the same mechanic that you're on about. And they would transform for like different terrain and things like that, from what I remember. But yeah, that's like a really cool thing. So like you could have like completely different tracks. You could have like a circuit track, and then go into like a dirt bit and things like that. That's cool.
Yeah, you can do whatever with it. There's nothing special going on there, but it controlled quite nicely. I've only played it for a half hour or so, but
you were impressed.
It was enough to make me go, yeah. Because I tell you why. Because I was expecting it to be dog shit. Yeah, that's obviously why. I was expecting it to be absolute balls, and really enjoyed my half hour with the demo. It's a free demo, ladies and gentlemen. If you're a PlayStation user, then download it, give it a go. Although, possibly not the time to buy it right now, because it appears to be 55 quid on the store. But I'm sure it's gone down to like £18 or something before, so probably worth keeping an eye on, because it could be really fun. And as you know, I am desperate for fucking racing games.
So do you reckon £18 is your biting point for that game then?
Yeah, I reckon so. Well, I'll have to play the demo a little bit more.
Yeah, we'll get back with more feedback about that, I think.
Definitely.
I don't trust you. You're crazy.
Really genuinely pleasantly surprised by the little bit that I've played.
A lot of those demos on there at the moment are absolute toilet as well, so it's nice to find something that's actually grabbed your attention, which is cool. Yeah,
absolutely. So yeah, that's the end of what I've played apart from Home.
Yeah, should we talk about that together?
Home, a unique horror adventure by Benjamin Rivers.
What a ledge. He's made a cracking game there.
Yeah, seriously. So yeah, we share played this, and we didn't intend to play the whole thing. It just kind of happened, and we recorded it as well, so we're putting the playthrough up in sort of 15-minute chunks. That'll be popping up every few days on the site over the next few weeks. I was really, really surprised by this, and I really enjoyed it, and I will definitely play it again. and I know you liked it as well.
Yeah, seeing as I'm a complete spaz at reading, I was quite surprised that I enjoyed it. If you watch the videos, you'll see that I take quite a while to study the text, really sink it in.
Now, mate, for the benefit of the viewers, that's why you were doing that.
Yeah, definitely. It wasn't because I'm like, what's he saying? But yeah, it was a really cool game. Like, it's it's incredibly simple. Like, left, right. You can look up, which if you watch the video, you'll see that I'm a big fan of. And you can just interact with stuff. And then, like, you'll get a block of text about it. And obviously you'll read that text. If you don't read that, then that's the game wasted on you, I guess. And it's pretty much the story of... Do we know what the guy's name was? I can't remember.
I don't think so. No.
But anyway, we're not going to really talk about the story because that would completely ruin the whole game for you. But the simple mechanics of the games, it's like a search and like retrieve kind of thing. You walk past something, it will be highlighted. You'll click on it, and then you'll get some information. And a lot of the time, you want to try and remember as much information as you can, mainly because later in the game that will become useful for you. There's bits where you can like pick up items and carry them with you, and what I liked about it is the story developed due to the fact what you did in that certain area. It was really cool. Yeah,
it became quite clear fairly early on that there's all sorts of different offshoots of the story depending on your actions, what you pick up, what you look at, which was really nice, wasn't it? Yeah, definitely. And it definitely made the ending of the game like so much better because like there were certain things that I'd forgotten, even though it was only like an hour and a half ago. But I was like, oh yeah, that happened, didn't it? Oh, did he? Ooh. Yeah. Kind of huge replay value. Very clever. This is probably the absolute opposite of what you're supposed to do if you're someone making YouTube videos with a gaming website writing about various things. True. Buy this game. It's £2. Do not watch our videos until you have bought this game for £2, sat down for an hour and a quarter and played it. It takes just over an hour to complete. Yeah. You're mugging yourself off if you don't buy this thing and give it a go. It's £2. Like, honestly. Going back to the question about games under a tenner, you could buy this 4 times and then have, $1.99 left over for for a special brew. Yeah, a special brew that you could probably try and make it last about an hour and a half. This is a really interesting game. It's very short. It's really good. And we don't want to spoil it for you. And the soundtrack is amazing. It's very quiet. Not a great deal of audio. We're not going to spoil the story. Definitely not, because it's just really cool. It was refreshing. I think that's the word that I've been looking for to play that game. Yep, very cool game. Very, very, very much enjoyed. Thank you very much, Benjamin Rivers. Yeah, well done. So yeah, I think that'll probably do us. Yeah, I ain't played anything else, mate. And now it's time for Fonz or Phoenix. Ooh, what's happened this week, mate? We have no Phoenixes or Pheni this week. No Pheni. That's always good news, There's all nothing clear to give the thumbs down to, which is nice. We do, however, have a Fonz. Whee! And this is a Fonz from Phil motherfucking Spencer. who's the head of Xbox, and should always have motherfucking between his two names.
I think so.
Phil motherfucking Spencer is pleased that Bloodborne is doing well.
That's
what do you think
nice.
Of that?
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Here's a quote. I know some will question me, but wanted to say it's cool to see Bloodborne sell 1 million plus. New IP is hard. Congratulations, PlayStation and From Software.
And I think he's right. Like, new IPs can tank.
They can, and they're hard to launch, and Microsoft know it as well as Sony do. It's a classy move from a classy man. I like Phil Spencer a lot.
You mean Phil motherfucking Spencer?
Sorry, Phil motherfucking Spencer. In his box suit top with his t-shirt underneath. The geezer's a proper ledge, and he's come in when they're on their fucking knees, you know? Like,
yeah.
They balls the launch of that console. He's done a cracking job of steadying the ship.
Definitely.
He's just a classy gent. Like, every time I see anything from the guy. And just because you're a competitor with your competitors doesn't mean that you can't have some sort of mutual respect there.
No, definitely not.
You know, I just think a lot of people will obviously palm this off and say, yeah, PR stunt, you know, fucking goodwill and all that. As he says, as he alludes to. But at the end of the day, I think it's a classy move, and it certainly deserves a Fonz when someone does that in this industry.
Yeah, definitely.
So yeah, nothing else to say about that. Just classy gent, Phil motherfucking Spencer.
What a guy.
And now it's time for the news.
The news.
The news.
The news. No drum and bass remix this year. Or this week.
I tell you, that was a lovely surprise for me once the podcast had been edited together.
I said I was going to do it.
I know, but I didn't think you were. I didn't think you actually were going to. I thought it was... I was waiting for the drop, to be honest, mate, and I was a bit disappointed, frankly.
Nah, just, you know, a little snippet of, you know, what it could be.
Yep.
You know, if you really want me to expand on it, I can.
When we release the JfG album.
Yeah, that's the
of
news.
Nonsense and jingles.
Yeah. Just the random drum and bass track on there. Yeah, fine.
Yeah.
It's cool.
Right, the news. Here we go. Number 1. The Xbox 360 is getting external hard drive support for some reason. What do you think of that?
What?
I know, right?
What kind? What? No, like what does it mean? Like what kind of? Because you could already plug a hard drive into it. Does it mean that it can just use more than the 16 gig or whatever space as a hard drive now?
Yeah, apparently you can plug like 4 terabytes of hard drive space into this thing just via the USB ports now.
Okay, that's cool. I
Yeah.
guess. Well, yeah.
Really. It must have just been really easy for them to do, so they were like, "Fuck it, why not?"
Well, because what it used to be, they only supported like so much, like only little memory sticks, didn't they? Where you could actually use that space as to save your save games and stuff on.
Yeah.
I mean, you could always plug a massive hard drive in and watch like video and listen to music off it, but you could never save your games to it. But so I'm guessing what this has allowed, like a lot of people, if they've got like the arcade version. I don't know what it's called. That's what it used to be called.
Just arcade, I think, yeah.
So like it's only got like 4 gig in it or whatever. So they can plug their like whatever size hard drive into that and use that as their hard drive now, which is good. It's good, you know.
I kept my console. Did you?
Nah, sold that, mate. Moved on.
I had so many Xbox Live games on there, like arcade games and indie games and stuff. And I thought, you know, like I've got I've got my Mega Drive still, and all I can play on that is World Cup Italia 90, Columns, and Sonic 2, because that's all the cartridges I've got. And this thing I've got like 25 games on, so I thought, what are you going to get for it? Trade in, really. Especially, I had the old bastard model,
Yeah, see, I upgraded to the whatever.
You had the Slim.
Yeah. I think I got about 100 quid for all my stuff. So I was quite happy
fair
with
enough.
that. Yeah, exactly. So I was like, yeah, I'll take 100 quid. But, yeah.
Well, I think it's cool that they're still doing stuff to an old gen console like that. There's no need for them.
No, definitely not. They didn't have to do it. I mean, surely, so much of their resources are going to be pulled into the Xbox One now.
Must have just been simple to do. I tell you whose idea it probably was.
Phil motherfucking Spencer.
Damn right. Damn right.
You're damn right.
Cool.
Yeah,
next,
man.
number 2. Resgate.
What's this?
Ba, ba, ba.
What are you chatting about?
This is yet another fucking story about the PlayStation running a game in a higher resolution to the Xbox. I'm sorry, but we have to report on things. This is the news after all, and this is news. Project Cars and F1 2015 are 1080p 60 frames per second on PS4 and 900p 60 frames per second on the Xbox One.
Boo. What the fuck is Resgate? Have you made that word up?
Yes.
Okay. I'll allow it.
He's happy with that. There's no point discussing this. We've done this a dozen times, and before we started doing a podcast, it had also been discussed thousands of times. So we'll move straight forward. F1 won't be coming to last gen ever again, which is, I think a good thing.
Is that including this one as well?
Yeah.
So 2015 is not going out on it. That's good news for next gen or current gen gamers, because obviously it's they've pulled all their resources in developing it for these consoles, even though the Xbox One can only run it at 900, which is
it looks awesome.
Sad.
This game, it looks awesome. I'm placing all of my faith for the year on F1 2015, but Project Cars. I still like the look of Project Cars. Project Cars, by the way, is still penciled in as a game that's coming out on the Wii U. What do you think of that?
I don't know. Why not?
I can't imagine that it will come out on the Wii U, but they're quite adamant that it's going to.
Yeah, it says a Wii U release date has not yet been announced, though.
Nor will it.
Yeah, exactly. They'll just forget about it.
But yeah, that's what else we got. I got another bit of F1, which is that Codemasters have the license for F1 for one more year, but intend to renew it. Which is, I mean, we'll see how this one is, but
probably
I've liked
good.
all the previous ones.
Yeah.
And Project Cars has an achievement / trophy for completing a real-time 24-hour race.
Fucking hell. Cool.
Which basically, because, achievement or trophy, whatever, if you want to complete or platinum that game, you have to do that, don't you? Because you have to get all the trophies.
Yes, you do.
That's going to be a rare trophy then, isn't it? The platinum.
Because surely you must be able to pause it at some point to go for a piss and stuff.
I would imagine you can pause it, yeah.
I don't know about that. There's going to be like tricks and stuff to get around it, I reckon.
There'll be something going on.
But there'll probably still be like you'll have to race for 24 hours, but not you can pause it for like up to an hour or something.
I'm getting quite excited about Project Cars.
I know. I don't know. F1's there though, mate. So I
want
know.
both of them.
I want go-karts as well, and that sounds cool.
I want both of those games. Also, Project Cars, by the way, it's got graphics options on the consoles.
Why?
Because why the fuck not? They got options for bloom, water effects, lighting effects and stuff. So you can make it more realistic or look more replay-ish or more game-ish or whatever you want to do.
So it's not actual, it's more like visual effects.
It's not like Res or
FPS I was going to say, like, yeah, you can
like
just knock it down to like 720p or whatever.
Yeah, you can turn the VSync off and run it in 320.
Yeah, why not? Just do it. You know, you can make it 2D if you want.
Yeah. Just run it like a
Mario
shit YouTube video when a YouTube video spazzes out.
Yeah, classic.
Incidentally, nothing to do with anything, by the way. I put a podcast on the other night. It was only available on YouTube at the time. Fucking forgot that I'd turned Wi-Fi off because it was interfering with my sat-nav on my way home from one of my gigs. Came through my whole month's data in one night. Fell asleep after 5 minutes. The podcast ran for an hour. Came through all my data.
Well played.
Yeah, brilliant. Anyway.
That's the news from you.
Yeah. Cities Skylines has sold over 1 million units.
And I'm not surprised.
I
mean, think of everyone that's like so pissed off about SimCity.
Yeah.
And then this game comes out that is SimCity, but better. Well,
people have been gagging for this game for ages, haven't they?
Yeah, exactly. And like everyone's just been like, yep, it's SimCity, but it works, and like it has the tiles system, and instead of the stupid online just make another city round the corner kind of thing, so you can actually expand, you know.
Goes to show you what a quality game developer can do when they're not being held at fucking gunpoint by EA.
Yeah, well, maybe. Who knows?
Maybe. Who knows? Speculating. Also, Bloodborne's cleared 1 million as well.
Yeah.
I'm sure Phil Spencer will be delighted.
Well, yeah.
And he was. We'll move straight on from that because that's that. And let's move on to Guitar Hero, Ash. Have you been following the Guitar Hero news this week?
I've seen a bit about it. You can get it for about 80 quid. I was like, that's not bad. Like, with the peripheral. I see it has 3 buttons in 2 rows, so it's actually 6 buttons.
That's right.
I think that's fine. I'm really not fussed about this game. I think it's gonna not be as good because it's not gonna have the nostalgia. I'll probably buy it for this nostalgia, but
be disappointed.
Yeah, I'm just going to get disappointed, and I don't want to be disappointed.
So, quick rundown here. Guitar Hero it's gone first person, and it's no longer graphics. They filmed the whole thing. They've got a load of bodies together, a load of green screens. Right. It's a live video in a sort of weird, sort of early 90s FMV style game. So
I immediately don't want this game now.
You didn't know that about it?
No. I knew that it was like first person or something, but I didn't know that it was actually real people.
No graphics. They filmed it all. The crowd will turn on you and it's real people booing or whatever. There's also going to be an MTV style music channel where you can play guitar along to videos on the screen in a sort of SingStar kind of way. And an ever-increasing number of songs, which will presumably be microtransactions.
Yeah.
Although they haven't actually announced that at this point. It's coming out. They've said that one of the key things that they were looking to develop was the fact that they could launch the game on all platforms, which is, this is the thing that probably gets me the most. They're making out like they've made this design decision to have it live action rather than graphics. I'm sorry, that's not true. They've made it live action because then there aren't any fucking graphics and you can launch it on any platform.
You can do it on
bring this thing out.
Phone.
Yeah, and they've already said that the game will launch on all platforms and it will be the same game on all platforms. So what you get on PS4 is going to be exactly the same as what you get on iPad. It'll be exactly the same as what you get on a fucking Samsung Galaxy S4 or something.
No, I don't want it.
It's a cash-in. It's an Activision cash-in. I'm still excited about it because I love Guitar Hero.
It's going to be shit, mate.
I used to love playing Guitar Hero.
Now I'm going to disown you if you enjoy this.
The price point is very low. They've done away with all the other peripherals, so it's just a guitar game again. You can play it on your netbook, you can play it on your telly. There's even talk of them bringing out a sort of PlayStation TV style thing where you don't even need a fucking console or anything, and you can just broadcast it onto your telly or your tablet or whatever.
And I'll tell you what it can do. It can fuck off my console then. I don't want it. Yeah,
it's not a current gen game. It's not even. It's a fucking app. It's like a.
Yeah.
It's not really a game at all, is it? I suppose, but I don't know. I liked Guitar Hero. I'd like to play some more Guitar Hero. It was fun, and I'm sure that this will be fun. But I also think that the design decisions that they've made, they're dressing it up as design decisions, and it just looks like fucking Scrooge McDuck swimming in his money to me.
I reckon Activision are going to get a load of complaints about how this game makes people depressed because it keeps booing at them. There's going to be some lawsuits there, mate. I'm going to cash in.
The most interesting thing is it's so different to what we're expecting from Harmonix. Like it looks like they're sticking down the Rock Band route. They're talking about making sure that all the old peripherals work. That they've confirmed that they're trying to do that now, including old Guitar Hero peripherals. Meanwhile, Activision are launching a whole new service with a new guitar you have to buy and fucking this, that, and the other. It's going to be an interesting E3, let's put it that way.
Yeah, definitely. I'm looking forward to seeing what both companies bring out. At the moment, it sounds like Rock Band's going to be the one for me. If
Rock Band's the one that's a game.
Yeah. So, yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to seeing what they're going to do.
I'm well up for E3. There's all sorts of shit going down this year. It's going to be cool. But we'll move on for now. We will move on to older games, and we will move on to the latest Humble Bundle, which is the Origin Bundle 2.
Yeah, we got the Origin, the first one, didn't we?
Oh, we got these are fucking ridiculous. I'm sure if you're a PC gamer, you know all about these. If you don't know about them, go to thehumblebundle.com. It's companies that put packs out for the option for you to donate to charity and buy games at the same time. It's good publicity for everyone. It's good for charity. At the time of writing, if you spend, I've converted this. If you spend £3.28, so you go on the Humble Bundle website and you pledge £3.28, you will get Dragon Age Origins, Dragon Age 2, Peggle, Dead Space 2, the Medal of Honor War Chest, Command & Conquer Generals, Plants vs Zombies Garden Warfare, Bejeweled 3 and Mass Effect 2 for £3.28.
And seeing as we were saying that Home was an absolute bargain for £2, this kind of trumps that. But isn't there that they've said as well that there's more to come?
There's more to come, yeah, and God knows what that will be. They could chuck Mass Effect 3 in there for all we know.
Dragon Age Inquisition, maybe.
Yeah.
I doubt it.
Who knows? It's, I think EA are trying to clean up at the moment with Ubisoft so, hated.
Yeah.
They're trying to get a leg up, and fair play to them. They're doing a very good job of it. If you've got a half decent PC and you playing games on PC, then that looks like a no-brainer to us.
Definitely.
Next, 2K Australia shuts down.
What did they make?
They made the pre-sequel, the Borderlands pre-sequel.
Oh, really?
So
did that not do well then? I'm guessing.
No, it did very well. And it's part of the Handsome Jack collection, which has only just come out 2 or 3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
I looked into this because it seemed really odd. And it looks like 2K wanted to relocate the team from Canberra to Melbourne. I don't know if you know how big Australia is, but that's something of a commute. And in making that decision, most of the team left anyway. So 2K decided, okay, well, I guess we'll close the studios and try and relocate the remaining staff members. So it's not a case of like when EA destroyed Maxis. But 2K made the decision for the move, and obviously that didn't suit the studio. I haven't played the pre-sequel, but I've heard that it's really good. And it can't have been easy to make that game off the back of Borderlands as a new studio, with that lore already there and it being very well loved. So there's some very talented people there who are being scattered, which is a bit of a shame, isn't it?
Well, you never know. Some offset might just turn up from the people that have left, and something fresh and new and exciting might come of it. So it might work out for the best.
Could do. We shall see. Next, Trine 3 hits Steam Early Access on the 21st of April.
Wow.
Yeah, that's Tuesday. If you're listening to this on Sunday, that's in 2 days.
Yeah.
No one expected that, did they? Like, I thought this game was months away.
I don't know. I remember seeing like the kind of launch trailer or something for it.
It's got like a third-person thing going on, hasn't it?
Yeah.
Where the camera moves around.
But this is literally like the first bit of news that I've really seen about this game since that trailer, and I was like, oh, that's not coming out for fucking ages. But now, Tuesday, it's like, yeah, get it on early access. I'm like, well, I might just do that.
Yeah, we love Trine. We've played through Trine. We've actually bought Trine like 1 and 2 twice, I think, haven't we?
Yeah.
Or 3 times or something.
Yeah.
It came out. It's come out on every platform imaginable, and we've rebought it several times because it's a fantastic co-op experience.
Yeah, definitely one of the best.
I'm well excited about Trine 3, and you know, if it's hitting Steam Early Access on Tuesday, then you know, sooner rather than later on the consoles as well. That seems wicked. I'm well happy with that.
Definitely. So hopefully that goes really smoothly, and then it'll be on the PS4s within a month, I reckon.
That'd do us. Yeah.
I'd be happy with that.
If you haven't played Trine and you're a PlayStation gamer, there's a demo of the what's it called?
Enchanted
it's the first
edition.
That's right. It's the first game in the second game's engine, a la Half-Life Source.
Yes.
Worth a look, that. It's a very, very pretty game. I remember the first time we loaded up Trine 2, we were like, fucking hell, this is amazing, the way it looks. Like, graphically, it's beautiful.
Yeah, and this was like when we first did, I think it was about a year and a half, nearly 2 years ago, when we did a few YouTube videos under a different pseudonym. And yeah, Trine 2 was one of the games we played, and we were literally just blown away with the art style of it. It was just so pretty and glowing and luscious, you know.
Yeah, and it needed to be, didn't it? For a fairy tale game, it needed to look like that, and they really pulled it off. There's a great set of games. There's no doubt in my mind we will snap up Trine 3 immediately. So
I think so.
Yeah, very exciting. And finally, this probably isn't really news at this point. There's a reveal event tomorrow for Star Wars Battlefront.
Tomorrow being Friday.
So yeah, you if you are a discerning gamer who spends some time on the internet, then you will have seen this. So there's absolutely no point me talking to you about it, because you know more than us. Yes. I've seen a screenshot, because this is Thursday night. Hello from Thursday night. And the screenshot looks amazing, but then it should. If it's a single leaked screenshot, then it probably would look amazing.
It's just some trees, mate. I don't know what you're spaffing on about.
I told you before, I'm going to be so hyped for this fucking movie. This game only needs to be mediocre and I'll be delighted.
Yeah. But yeah, it looks cool.
So yeah, we won't talk about that now. Hopefully that'll stay with us, and that reveal event will be cracking, and then we can talk about it either on the site or on next week's podcast. But yeah, that's exciting stuff. We're holding out a lot of hope for this shooter. And we shall see.
Yeah, we'll see.
And that is the end of the news. And now it's time for Out This Week. And before we start this section, I just want to remind everyone that GTA 5 PC is out now, in case anyone needed reminding. I saw a statistic that said that it broke a record today being Thursday, for the most ever concurrent users of a single game on Steam. 300,000 people all at the same time.
That'll do it.
Which sounds low to me. Is that just me? That sounds low. Can't be much of a record. I don't know. Anyway, I very politely and kindly tweeted out to our followers on the release night saying, happy GTA 5 PC day, you 60 frames per second bastards. Storms back to archaic console. And got a lovely message from Sean, aka at supernatural_9. Thanks for beta testing for us. I think there was a common theme across Twitter that night of a lot of people saying very much the same thing. Imagine getting GTA for the first time with all the fucking heists. It online works perfectly. The thing runs at 60 frames. Have you watched any videos of it yet, by the way?
I watched someone playing it with 3 monitors, and I was very fucking jealous.
Jesus, that sounds ridiculous.
Yeah, it looked fucking awesome. I was like, sad face.
Amazing. Yeah, we just have to pretend it doesn't exist, so we'll move on.
It's bollocks, mate.
Yeah, it's probably shit, mate. Probably shit. So, out this week, not very much, to be honest. I think that this is a backlash from the fact that I decided to do an Out This Week section only last week.
Well done.
So this week we've got Shovel Knight on the PS4, which you'll be pleased to know is a 16-bit looking 2D side-scrolling indie game.
Fucking nice.
In which you play a knight with a shovel. We've got Carmageddon Reincarnation. I was always a massive fan of Carmageddon games in the past, but they released that early access and it was ballsed. So it was fucked. Like, it occasionally went down to like 2 frames per second.
Cool.
Hopefully that game's good, because I used to love Carmageddon. Did you ever have a thing for those games?
Destruction Derby and stuff like that. That was good fun. But
yeah, but not Carmageddon.
Nah, not really. Never really grabbed me by the horns. You know?
I played the ever-loving shit out of Carmageddon 1 and 2. It was, very cool. That's about it, really. Infinity Runner's coming out on PS4, which I don't really know very much about. Another indie game, though. And Dungeons 2 is coming out on PC, which I also don't really know very much about. It's
really
another small indie game.
the barrel.
We're scraping the bottom of the barrel there.
Yeah, we've done well. I can't wait for next week.
Yeah. It's really going down a treat, this new section. That was good stuff.
Yeah. Next thing.
Right. So I suppose we move on to Q&A.
Yes.
Do you have a question for us here at the Justice for Gamers podcast? Every week we'll be ending the show with questions and comments sent in by you. Pop us a message on one of our social media sites or send an email to contact@justiceforgamers.com and we'll do our best to sort you out. We've got some questions from Simon, who has... we got 3 questions from Simon, and... it was very, very generous of him to give us 3 questions. Not that we're short of questions, if Simon doesn't send us 3. You know, I'm sure we would have had plenty of questions that we could have used, but...
I was going to say, is he like some kind of genie? You know, you can only have 3 wishes.
Yeah. This is a really interesting question, and I'd like to know what your answer's going to be here. If you could only play one genre of game forevermore, what genre would you choose?
Exploration?
RPGs?
Possibly, because... No, it can't be, because there's no real replayability in them, because it's all about going on and finding everything under the sun, and then obviously if you're playing it forever, then once you've found everything, then that's the game done.
Yeah, but this is genre though, isn't it? Like, so you're talking like...
Oh, what, I could play different games from that genre?
Yeah, he says genre,
okay,
so
yeah.
you could have like GTA and Dragon Age and Fallout and...
Yeah, there you go. That's what I'll play, just fucking GTA.
I think it's got to be that, hasn't it? It's got to be like the action RPG, because they're so vast and...
Yeah, there's so much variety in there, I think.
I mean, Skyrim and GTA, if you just had those 2 games and nothing else for the rest of your life, that'd probably keep you going. You'd be pushing 60.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah, I think that's the obvious choice. You can't really pick anything else. Racing games have got replay value. I think also football games have got replay value. The idea that I could never play FIFA or PES ever again upsets me greatly.
But there's all kinds of things you can do with them kind of types of games. And plus, like, if you say sports games, you know, how many sports are there? There's countless. I mean, you could even throw like Quidditch in there as well if you want.
Mate, GTA's got golf and racing.
That's true. So that's already in there.
So yeah, we haven't answered anything there at all. But it's probably got to be the action RPG. You can chuck if you can chuck Bethesda games and Rockstar games in. You know, like Red Dead, GTA.
Yeah.
All the GTAs that keep you going for fucking ages.
Yeah, they would.
Dragon Age, Fallout, Elder Scrolls. It's got to be
the whole Elder Scrolls series. Yeah, I'll be there for fucking millennium with them.
Next question from Simon: why are the majority of PS Plus games single player? I think I can answer this. It's because at the moment they're all indie games, and indie devs have fuck all money, and it's cheaper to make single player games.
Yeah,
than multiplayer games.
Obviously, they'd have to get a whole new team in to develop the multiplayer aspect of it. But talking about, you know, PS Plus games that are indie and single player, I mean, Don't Starve. That's on PC. There's is it beta testing for the whatever it is, Don't Starve Alone?
Don't Starve Together.
Don't Starve Together or whatever it is. Yeah. I mean, imagine if that came out. You know, it's like a free update for that game.
I would love it if we got that.
Yeah, it'd be really cool. But who's to say in the future, like, if these games do make a fair bit of bank, and with the payroll from the PS Plus scheme, you know, I don't know how much money they do make from that, but I'm guessing it's a fair whack. You know, they might put some of that money back into the game to develop into a multiplayer, but I don't know. But yeah, I think you hit the nail on the head why the PS Plus games are single player. Or majority.
Yeah, I think, you know, years' time we'll be talking about the fact that we're getting all sorts of AAA games. It'll be stuff like Knack and Infamous that'll be hitting PS Plus. It's going to happen. I know we say Knack every time.
I was just going to say, if you said it the other way round, the infamous Knack, you know, that would be...
It is infamous. Infamous for being a bit shit.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that's why. And his final question: why doesn't the F1 game come out at the start of the season? Do you know the answer to that?
Is it probably down to the fact that we don't know anything about that season until it starts, kind of thing?
Absolutely, yeah. It's the fact it's because the cars haven't been invented yet. Like, honestly, that's what it is. Winter testing in Formula One, in real life Formula One, doesn't start till February. The race calendar isn't confirmed until mid-March.
Right.
There's just not enough time. There's not enough time. It's a miracle they're getting this year's edition out in June.
Well, I guess they can like preempt everything, like get all the physics and like the crowd animations and all the other stuff like set, and then the last thing they have to do is, right, we need to fine tune and develop these cars, which obviously is a massive part of the game. But
well, I'm sure I read on F1 2014 or 2013, it took them like a month at a time to make each car. You know, God. Like it's a massive task, and in fact to the point where they're releasing early this year, but there's going to be a great deal of 2014 last season's content in that game
within it, yeah.
And then they're going to be releasing the new season's content as some sort of free update at some point.
I'm happy about that.
I'm fine with it. It's like getting 2 games in one. We missed out last year.
I'm totally fine with that.
Totally. They'll feel different, those cars. You know that it's going to be really exciting when the switchover happens, and I'm sure they'll leave the old content in there as well. So suddenly you can play 2 seasons worth in one game. Ash, I don't know if I'm getting across to you how excited I am for F1 2015. Oh my God.
See, what everyone doesn't understand is like they'll listen to this like podcast like once and be like, yeah, this guy's going on about this a lot. I get this every fucking day.
I can't defend myself. It's true. It's true.
I don't know.
Yeah, that's why. The reason that they don't bring it out when the season starts is because the cars haven't been announced. They're very secretive in F1. They don't want to give an advantage to any other team. No, the fact that they're releasing this edition with only like 3 months notice into the season is a fucking miracle. It's amazing. I love Codemasters. And
yeah, they're all right, aren't they?
I love their games, and I can't wait for F1. But yes, that's why. Next, we have a question from... we have 2 questions from Paul. Here's the first one. What is your favourite film based on a computer game? His is Resident Evil. What's yours?
Come back to me. I have to think of what crossovers there are.
Yeah, now I actually Google searched this earlier, and it is not a pretty list.
Cheater! You fucking cheat. You put it on my toes. Like, I'm trying to think of like games like Street Fighter,
Mario, mate, Bob Hoskins.
Exactly, Mario, Silent Hill, Resident Evil.
Mortal Kombat.
I was gonna say that, but I didn't know if it was or not.
There was a mini series on YouTube of Mortal Kombat that was actually quite good.
Okay.
Big budget wise, I did cheat. I did look it up. I thought the first Tomb Raider movie was all right. Actually, I quite like.
Actually, yeah, mate. I really actually enjoyed the Tomb Raider, the films.
I having with the benefit of research, then Prince of Persia: Sands of Time, I thought was really good. It was a bit weird. Gyllenhaal was a bit of a strange casting choice, but I liked that film. I thought it was decent, and you really are scraping the fucking barrel. Honestly, do a Google search of.
I'm literally doing it quickly here. Okay.
It's poor.
Pokemon the movie? No, because Pokemon was a cartoon before it. I've just got Wikipedia up. Double Dragon, Street Fighter, Mortal Kombat, Wing Commander, Tomb Raider, Final Fantasy, Resident Evil.
That Final Fantasy, was it Spirits Within?
Yes, that wasn't too bad.
I liked that.
But
I liked that. It was decent.
That was like animated and stuff. So I don't know. I don't know if that's counted.
If I remember correctly.
How did I forget Doom? What a film!
Doom,
classic. Dead or Alive, brilliant. Love the boobies.
I tell you what, Doom, mate. Fucking yet another movie in which the mighty Carl Urban survives when he probably shouldn't.
Yeah, indeed, mate. There's that loads. Fucking Hitman, Max Payne.
Max Payne was all right.
Yeah, Need for Speed. Oh
shit.
What a shit film. But yeah, there's ones in the making as well. But
like The Last of Us.
Yeah, I thought that was going to be like a stage. Oh no, they did a stage thing of that, didn't they?
That's going to be a movie, and is it Maisie Williams, Arya Stark from Game of Thrones? Okay. She's going to be Ellie. Yeah, that could be cool. I hope that's really good.
Looking at that list, Doom was quite a good one. Enjoyed that. Like I laughed.
Doom was fun.
Yeah, exactly. It was comedy. The Tomb Raider films were good. I liked both of them. Max Payne, I didn't really like that. But yeah, Prince of Persia, that's a good one, buddy. I like that.
It was a good movie. I think it's Bruckheimer, that thing.
No idea, mate.
Yeah. Well, that'll do us for that. Finally, last question and the last action of podcast 7. So let's make it a good one. What was the first game you remember playing ever in your whole life?
I have to say something like Frogger.
Nice. I liked Frogger.
This was back on the Dragon that I've spoken about before. We have spoken
with its
about
fantastic controller.
No, that was the Jaguar, buddy. That was last episode. I'm sure.
My bad.
Early on, we spoke about our gaming backgrounds, like our first consoles that we had and things like that. Did we do that?
I don't think so. I think I've probably given a rundown before. The very first game I ever played was Space Invaders. I know that's a massive cliche, but it wasn't even really a console. It was one of these things you just plug in the AV socket on the back of the telly, and you got a joystick. We're probably talking 1990. I think I was 5 or 6 or 7 or something like that. Yeah. That was the first game that I ever played. The first game I ever played on a console that I actually owned or was around a friend's house playing was the very first Mario on the NES, and that was probably 91. So it was something like that. I played Duck Hunt on that as well. It was
on the dual cartridge. That was brilliant.
Yeah, that was right. It felt like the dawn of games to me, but I'm sure that there's going to be a lot of older listeners who can poo-poo that and say, "Fuck off, definitely. Mate! I was playing shit in '78," and stuff like that.
Exactly. But yeah, Frogger on the Dragon, which was a beast of a machine. No, I don't think we did. I think I've spoken to you about it. But yeah, you can just Google it if you really want to look into it. But it's like really shit keyboard and green screen kind of thing. That game, there's what is it? It's like a piss take of Flappy Bird. It's called Crossy Street or Crossy Road. Yeah. It's kind of big on the stores on mobile at the moment, and it is basically Frogger, but you're a chicken crossing like roads and railway lines and rivers and stuff. It essentially is Frogger. Very addictive, as you'd expect. Quite fun. You can download it right now, no matter what platform you're on. I promise. Look it up. Yeah, and then after that, it was pretty much we got a NES when I must have been about 5 or something. Yeah, about 5-ish. And yeah, Super Mario and Duck Hunt was ace. Loads of fun. Damn right. What's your favourite Mario? This isn't a question from anyone. I just wondered. You're just asking me. It's either going to be Super Mario World or Mario 64. Super Mario was just a cracking game. It's when, that was like the first jump for me graphically. From this like pixelated Mario to this fucking hell, he's like all smooth and rounded and his moustache is glorious and it glows kind of thing, or shines even, not glows. But totally with you. But then the jump to the 3D world of like Mario 64, I was just like, fuck off, what is this shit? I'm like, you spawn outside the castle and you can go swimming and shit like that, and you're like, oh my god, and like you can run up walls and crap. I was just like, this is amazing. Obviously, looking back at it now, it looks like a pile of dog shit, but
mate, Wii U Virtual Console, get involved.
No, because like I just said, it looks like a pile of dog shit. I'm not playing it. But at the time,
Super Mario World that's my favourite Mario, and I've never owned a Nintendo ever, as I've mentioned before, but I had a lot of friends who did, and I love that Mario game. I've since played it on ROMs and stuff, on the PC. Never get tired of it. I love the music, and great game.
Yeah, cracking game.
That'll about do us, I think. That's probably the end of podcast 7, Ash.
Oh, sad.
It's been good. I've enjoyed this week.
This has been a very good week. I've played lots of games without you on my lonesome. It's fine.
That's why it's been so good.
Yeah, it's been fucking peace and quiet.
Because I ain't been online. I've had a lovely time when you fucked off.
Being able to clear my mind, get in the zone.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, it's been a good week of gaming.
A very diverse week of gaming. I've got a lot of different games that I'm looking forward to playing next week, and one of them is Tonka Touring Cars 2.
Nice.
I downloaded that today. I think it came out in about 97. I plan to talk for several hours about that in podcast 8. It'll be a 4-hour edition where we talk about all things Tonka.
Straight off the bat. Nice.
No, I promise that won't happen. But
good.
But thank you very, very much for listening. And we will be back this time next week. Remember to subscribe to us. We'd love an iTunes review. That'd be nice. How about it? Go on, I dare ya.
Have we had one? I don't know. I haven't even been on iTunes, mate. Have you?
It'd be really nice. It'd be nice of you. You can find us at www.justiceforgamers.com. We are Facebook /Justice for Gamers. We are Twitter @Justice for Gamer. We're also on Google Plus, and fuck knows what that one is. But we're on YouTube as well. If you search Justice for Gamers, we're currently in a titanic struggle with a channel called Gamers for Justice over who is going to be number 1 on YouTube. When you search,
we'll destroy them.
Yep, we'll do them in. It's a couple of little kids. We could have them.
They know nothing. We'll have a fist fight.
Yeah, we'll challenge them. We'll challenge them to a duel.
Yes,
it'll be beautiful.
Throw down some fisticuffs.
That'll about do us for this week. So until next time, it is goodbye from me, and it is goodbye from Ash.
Bye.
Goodbye. You've been listening to the Justice for Gamers podcast with Ash and me, Alex. We release this every Sunday night, so you can preload it for the week ahead. To find out more, head to justiceforgamers.com, Facebook /Justice for Gamers, or Twitter @JusticeForGamer. If you have anything interesting to say, pop an email to contact@justiceforgamers.com, and if you could write us a review on iTunes, we'd be forever in your debt. Have a cracking week, and we'll catch you next time.